So my name is Lakisha Davis Small, and I am a sexual abuse. I'm a sexual abuse advocate. I'm against sexual abuse. Let me say it that way. And I am against domestic violence. I advocate against those I was born at Howard University. I was actually raised at the age of 5 with just my father. At the age of 5, my mom left, so there was, just me and my dad until he passed away on Martin Luther King's birthday when I was 36 years old. So from 5 to 36, it was me and Mr. Rudolph Norman.
Yeah, I see a smile on your face. Tell us a little about your dad. It seemed like he had a huge impact on you. Tell us about your father.
Oh, my dad was my hero. So my dad was my hero because, growing up in the city with crime, sex, and drugs, my mom became a statistic. She got caught up on drugs and she took me to her sister's house and left me. And my dad didn't know where I was. So my dad did his investigation right on Georgia Avenue. He was going to find out. And lo and behold, he found me in Bowling Green, Virginia at my mom's sister's house, which is my aunt. And he rescued me. He came and I was with him for the rest of my life. So to me, that was heroic because a man going to find his daughter, most men don't go to find their sons. So to go find me and to take care of me and to actually go to court and file for full custody of me shows me the love and dedication he had towards me. So I'll forever be grateful for that. And I will love him in life and death. It does not matter. And he has been gone 3 years now. So I'm holding on.
Yes, mama. So let's go back to that day which changed your life. Where were you at that time that changed your life forever?
So, when my dad came to get me from his sister-in-law, basically, house, my dad needed help. He used to manage the fruit stand right there by the Ibex on Georgia Avenue. And he was there all the time. And from what I was told, he was the only black man that the Jews trusted. So they didn't trust anybody with their money but my dad. So he worked a lot of hours. So he, asked his grown nieces who had children to watch me, to babysit me and look after me. And he would give them money and, food. So one particular night, their brother, who was 21, decided right after watching Friday night videos with Sheila E. I'll never forget, the clock struck 12 and that's when he made his attack. He let everyone go to bed and he made sure to single me out, and he sodomized me, which is rectal rape. However, later on in life, and I want to say just about 2 years ago, it's 2019, so 2017, I went to DC court building and I found the actual police report and I found out that he not only sodomized me but raped me vaginally for 4 to 5 weeks. Now, how this happened, I do not know. I must have blocked out or didn't remember any other encounters after the first one, because the first encounter I still remember at 41 years old. Remember the feeling, the touch, everything. So I must have blocked out or blocked everything else out. The fact that my family kept it from my dad, that he worked so much that when I was asleep, he came over, or when, they wanted to not allow him to see me, they'll say, oh, I was at the playground, or whatever the case may be, they would do to hide the abuse. But come to find out, my cousin that raped me was raping his nephews and nieces also. So this was a serial rapist in the family. But he did go to jail for me. He gave me a sexually transmitted disease. That was curable, but the fact of the matter of this is that I was 5. And for a 21-year-old to do something so degrading to a 5-year-old, and then in a police report it said he wanted to fulfill his lustful desires for me, his arousal. So clearly there was a serious issue with my cousin, who went to jail for 8 years and was raped in jail, contracted AIDS, and that's how he met his demise.
Yes, ma'am. How did you overcome this trauma?
So I'm an overcomer by my faith and by believing and hoping. To say that the memories is not still trapped in my body, it is. And what I've learned being trauma informed and getting my certification in trauma from the University of Baltimore Criminal Justice Department is that trauma is trapped in the body, and the body holds memory. So some of the memory of what happened is still trapped, which causes me to have triggers. And because I've been in therapy and I still go, I know what my triggers are. So if I'm in a situation where I feel threatened, I know to back away, because my body is going to respond to the trigger of feeling like I'm not safe. And if I don't feel safe, I get into a mode of I'm not 5. Now I will defend myself. And it doesn't matter how big, how tall, how strong. It doesn't matter. Something in me will just switch. It'll just snap if I feel threatened. So before I get to that place of feeling threatened, I will remove myself from any place, any situation. I don't mind, being humiliated. I will just leave. I'll be the punk. I'll look like the scared one for your sake. No problem. So that's what I try to teach the community, and help people understand. People that have been sexually abused really battle with a lot of different emotions, and I want people to identify those emotions and be able to have some self-regulation and self-control when it comes to those things, because anger is just one of the issues.
Yes, ma'am. So you found a defense mechanism for yourself when you find yourself in a bad place.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Dear sister, as we may know, some turn to a lifestyle of prostitution, adult film industry, and they normalize that hurt. What can you share with them that is not the path for healing, that it's not too late to leave the lifestyle of self-destruction, that they can come out of that if they follow a particular path? What can you share with those individuals who are dealing with that? And we know that society can be cruel and be a predator to those who are weak in spirit and use their trauma for financial gain. What can you share with them to get them out of that predicament, sister?
Thank you for asking, brother. I really appreciate that. The first thing I would say, if these young ladies, women were in front of me, I'm so sorry for whatever happened to you. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is that I've learned that the trauma and the memory of it is trapped, which allows and makes the body respond to that trauma. So if the young ladies are prostitutes or selling their bodies in any kind of way, shape, or form, their body has become used to that touch. And it's not that they want to do this, but they have become immune and their body knows the touch and the feeling. So now it has become a business. It's not about, the actual act itself anymore, because now the body is used to it. It's just like driving a car. You get in the car, it's a no-brainer. You just get in, cut the car on and drive. Sometimes you're on airplane mode. Sometimes you don't even realize you just got to your destination that fast, and you had so much stuff on your mind, you never got in a car accident or anything. And that's how trauma from sexual abuse is. When you see women that can sleep with 10 men a day, they're on airplane mode. They was probably a little girl who was touched and never got healing, never went to therapy, and now that's their lifestyle. Again, I'm sorry for the young ladies that are doing that. To be real honest with you, everyone that's been sexually abused, even myself, battle with lust. And it comes in different ways. And some women or men don't want to be with the same sex or the sex that hurt them, so they become gay, or some don't want to be touched at all, but they still battle with those feelings of being touched. Some people become strippers. Some people become prostitutes. Some people have extramarital affairs and I've actually talked to people on the radio who called in and basically said, they were married and the prayer warriors in the church and everyone comes to them. They're the strong one, but they're married, and when they were a kid, they were raped in every foster home, so they've committed adultery on their husband, and now their husband is committing adultery on them because of this vicious cycle, not really knowing the root of the behavior or being able to get help. So, again, what I would say to the young girls that are out here doing these things, just get some help. Because what you're doing is taking in souls. A man deposits in a woman. A man enters our body. We don't enter them. So they leave a part of their soul in us. So every man you lay with, you're taking in his soul. So you can't even really find yours. And you're still searching for yours. So at the end of the day, you all messed up still. So I just hope you all stop. If someone that's watching this video is stripping or is a prostitute or having extra marital affairs or just have multiple boyfriends, because until you
that happens too.
Don't think about it or just get over it. How dare anyone to tell anybody to get over something like that? But what I would say is to try to redirect your mind. I always use the word trick my brain. I trick my brain. If I start to feel emotional or feel anger or feel something I shouldn't be feeling, I will try to redirect my energy. I have books. I have music I listen to. I'll listen to jokes. I will crack my own jokes and make my own self laugh. Whatever I need to do, I'll go stand in the rain and let the rain just pour down on me and just acknowledge and understand that life is precious and special and we're born to die. So we're not our trauma. We're not what we've been through, but we can make a difference before we leave this earth. So what keeps me going is I go to the graveyards too to visit my dad, but also I look at the graves. I literally walk through the graveyard and look at the graves and see the birth and death dates and say, these people actually existed. They actually was here and they're not anymore. So it brings me back to common sense. And it makes me realize that the things that I go through, the adversity, the pain, is temporary. It's not forever. I'm not going to be in this space 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and one day I actually won't be here. So with that being said, it makes me pull myself up by my bootstraps when I cry, when I get overwhelmed, and I keep moving because I don't have time. And I just want to tell you, you don't have time. The reason why the abuse happened is because you have something great inside of you. And it was supposed to mess you up so bad that you never find your destiny or your purpose. It was supposed to rock you so bad that you just stay stuck and you never move forward. But like Harriet Tubman, keep moving. That's what I do. And I'm glad I mentioned her because that's what my movement is about. Stop stealing our souls, putting an end to sex exploitation is about me, Lakisha, free myself from the mental slavery of sexual abuse, because you don't know the half of what happens to a woman or man that hormones are awakened before they supposed to be, in such a violent way. I save myself, but I go back for others who don't think they have problems, who have hid their problems, who don't want to talk about their problems. I'm here to say, baby, come on with me, because it's a promised land called healing and peace. There's no peace there. And even when I go back to free others, guess what? I'm jeopardizing my own freedom, because I hear the stories, I see the pain, I know where they at. And they're stuck. Some of them are so stuck, and I'm trying to pull them out of quicksand, and they try to pull me into quicksand, but I refuse to let the slave master of that sexual abuse mentality take me or them. So I'm going to do one better than Harriet. Those who didn't know they were slaves, and she could have freed them, I'm kidnapping. I'm going to let you know you're a slave, and now you're about to go with me. Yes, you don't get a choice.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be. You share so much in your book. You want to share a little bit, elaborate on your book, sister?
Sure. So my book is called Your Deliverance is Coming. And that title came about one day in my late teens, early 20s. And I was just sitting on my couch one day, just crying, asking God, why do I have to go through so much stuff? Like, I'm a nice person. These people out here doing all types of crazy stuff, and they don't go through nothing. Like, what? And God just said, your deliverance is coming. Just as clear as I said it on this camera. Your deliverance is coming. And that became the title of my book. And when you read it, you will see why. I've experienced so much that sometimes I'll go back and read my book and say, are you serious? You really made it through.
Elijah Muhammad said to us, the nature of the woman is to equal herself up to God. She will strive always to be better. But if she got a no good man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, there's no such thing as a no good woman. Every no good woman was made no good by a no good